my Carrie Bradshaw YouTube channel. In this video, we are recapping Insecure episode 7, Low Key Trippin'. This is a Molly episode. Again, I'm just going to go through the things that stood out to me the most as opposed to doing a scene-by-scene breakdown. So the episode opens where they do this thing that I really, really love as a, storytelling device where you get the same scene but from a different person's perspective. So we see that Molly actually did see Issa pull up to the Ethiopian restaurant. And in her mind, from her perspective, as she tells Andrew, Issa ran away from her. We saw that Issa just calmly was like, I'm not trying to do this shit right now. And I was annoyed with Issa, was annoyed with Molly from the jump start of the episode. So Molly and Andrew are going on this really fun trip, this little vacation, which triggered a lot of people because right now, obviously, we're in quarantine and it seems like other countries are treating America much the way that America has treated other countries and being like, y'all can't come here. So I think a lot of people were triggered to wonder like, damn, when am I gonna get my next or first vacation? Anyway, I really want to point out how much I loved how patient Andrew is with Molly. She has exhibited so much, I guess, trauma related to her personal issues. And I think that Andrew has done such an amazing job of being patient with her, but also being very honest with her about some of her behavior. And I think that for someone who has an anxious attachment style like Molly, who she seems to be like recovering from the trauma of her previous relationships and seems to always be on edge and, whatever, I'm happy to see a relationship where a person is really like willing to work with the other person on whatever their shortcomings may be. So this is low-key just an Andrew appreciation post. I really love how he handles her a lot. I hated the way Molly spoke to her assistant. I completely understand, like, this may make you late for a flight and, it is her job to keep you on time and on top of things. But the way she spoke to that woman made me so uncomfortable. I guess because, as someone who works in that same capacity at my day job, it's really hard when a person takes their frustration about other things out on you, even though you may have made like a minor mistake or even a major mistake. I still feel like there's a way that you can talk to a person without belittling them, and I just really did not like that, and it just kind of adds to my disdain for Molly. And I know someone on Twitter yesterday was saying that if you dislike Molly, it's just lazy viewership. I don't really know what that means because I feel like as the viewer, I shouldn't have to work to see the layers of a character. But I think that the fact that we are so disappointed in Molly shows that we are actually very invested in the show and that we have every right to be frustrated with her when she's being an ass because she was being a dick to her assistant. I really, really didn't like that. It was very cringe. Does anybody else get really uncomfortable when Molly tries to be sexy? Like when she does stuff like this and like bites her bottom lip and, tries to like be coy. She comes off as like really weird. I don't know if that's intentional or not, but even down to the fact that, she mentioned that she brought some things for them to have like sexy time on the trip, and the thing that she brought was just lingerie. Molly seems to always wear really nice lingerie, so I don't understand why this specific set was supposed to be like special or different or unique or like, oh, you really pulled out the stops for this one. I was really happy to see that Andrew brought the whole sex toy store with him. Right now, on my platform, I'm talking about sexual wellness this week. And one of the things that I really think is important in terms of having a healthy sexual relationship with your partner is that open communication about things that you want to try, things that you want to experiment with, and having those conversations makes for a more adventurous and more enjoyable situation for both people. So I really like seeing that Andrew was like, oh, well, I brought this stuff, like if you're comfortable with it. I really love that. That makes me so happy, and I wish that more of us felt more comfortable saying to our partners, I would really enjoy this thing, or I really don't enjoy this thing. And I think Insecure this season is doing a really good job of like showing women being vocal about their pleasure when it comes to sex, because I think we've been socialized to kind of prioritize how the man feels and put our pleasure on the back burner. So I was really happy to see that it was Andrew who said, well, look, I brought toys, I'm ready to get it popped off if this is what you're comfortable with. So I really enjoyed that. And I also want to just say, Molly's wardrobe is always banging, but this one was really like, shout out to Yvonne Orji, because that girl got body. I mean, she looked so good, especially, and I think it was the off-white workout outfit when they went hiking. I was happy to see that she just kind of went with the flow and wasn't so argumentative, or I'm not doing this and I'm not doing that on the trip. I thought that was really, I think there was some growth there, because Molly has typically been a it's my way or the highway kind of person. So I was happy to see her kind of work with what the plans were. I don't know about you guys, but I do not like to go on a trip and immediately hit the ground running with activities. I think that's just kind of like one of the consequences of capitalism, is that we only have so much PTO. You only have so many days to like get activities in on an international trip, and so you feel like you need to pack every day with as much stuff as possible. I like to get to a place, take a shower, relax, maybe get a little nap in, and then we can start doing stuff. But don't tell me we about to go kayaking at 6 and we just landed at 5. Call me when y'all done. No, thank you. Let's see. So, the pool attendant. This was triggering, but also I think needed, because I think that Molly's response to the pool attendant kind of racially profiling her in terms of demanding to see her key card, where Molly said that the white people before her didn't have to show a key card. I didn't see that, and I didn't go back to see if I saw it either, but this was indicative of the contentious relationship between Black people and Asians as is. When you grow up in a Black community where the beauty supply store, the laundromat, whatever, are owned by Asian people, from my experience, Asian people were the first people to make me feel like a criminal. It was the norm for us to go in beauty supply stores and be followed around. It just was the way that it was. They always assumed that you were a criminal. And even though Asian people are people of color, stereotypes about Asian people don't typically prevent them from getting jobs, don't, incite violence from police officers or authority figures. They're a part of the struggle of being Asian American is that you're deemed the model minority, which means that they are typically perceived as like being docile and stuff like that, which isn't fair to them either. But when they try to compare their oppression to ours, it's just not the same. And I really like that a lot of young people on TikTok, a lot of young Asian people on TikTok are talking about like how complacent Asian Americans can be in terms of prejudice against Black people. And I think that's a conversation that we need to continue, because as we saw, it's like, oh, well, you just need to pick and choose your battles, which is what Andrew's brother said to Molly, which just is not fair. Whenever we stand up for ourselves, we're looked at as being problematic, or like we have the attitude, and we're not allowed to stand up for ourselves. And a lot of times you end up just kind of having to bite the bullet and walk away from things that are racially charged, and that you have no real recourse for. I appreciated Andrew standing up for Molly, but I think there was also a point where, Molly kind of said something to Andrew that was like, whoa, what you mean by that? So I thought that dialogue was really, really important. And again, I hope it's something that we continue to have in real life, because I would love for people of color to have more unity, but I kind of shy away from using people of color, women of color, whatever, because our experience as Black people is very unique. It's very different. So again, that was a really great point. So once again, we see that, I don't know if I've mentioned this in a previous video, but Molly actually took away a really great opportunity for Nathan to communicate with Issa. Nathan had been blowing up Andrew's phone. Andrew calls him back, and it's revealed that Issa's there. And of course, Molly has something smart to say. And oh, he already showed Issa who he was. And Andrew's like, well, he was really dealing with some mental health stuff. And honestly, ghosting is very troubling. I have my own personal experiences with ghosting, but I think that he should have been allowed the opportunity to speak with Issa, and that Molly took that away from both of them last season. It just really wasn't fair, and I liked that it was kind of brought back this season, because I think some of us kind of forgot, like Molly has overstepped her boundaries in terms of being a friend or in terms of being protective of Issa. I never was comfortable with her making that decision for Issa to prevent Nathan from talking to her when he tried to on Issa's birthday in the last season. So I'm glad that was brought back up. And honestly, like, Molly is bringing Issa up quite a bit, and Andrew has to kind of like pull her back. What I was really happy with was the fact that Molly went to the beach in the wee hours of the morning and called her therapist. Hallelujah. Please, God, can more of us do this? Whatever your awakening needs to be, child, call a therapist, make an appointment, go in there and be honest and work out your shit. That made me so happy. I'm like, finally, she's doing like something that I can get on board with. At the end of the episode, Molly and Andrew run into Lawrence, who is coming back from San Francisco. As he's walking out, he makes a phone call. I assumed that he was calling Issa. What I confirmed from watching scenes for the next episode is that he definitely called Issa, and he definitely asked her out for drinks, and there's definitely something that he wants to ask her. My prediction is that Lawrence went to San Francisco to interview for another tech job, that he got the job, that he's going to move to San Francisco, and I'm wondering if he's going to ask Issa to move with him. I can't say whether I want her to do that or not, because I don't know how I feel about Issa and Nathan still. Like, who's to say she has to be with either of those people? Maybe there's like a third option somewhere. I don't know. But that's my prediction. I'm really excited to see next week's episode. I was hoping that it would be like a Lawrence episode, that like we would just see everything from Lawrence's point of view, because again, that's a really great storytelling device that I enjoy seeing. So we'll see what happens. This episode, again, it wasn't like drama intense, but it did build upon I guess some character development, or build upon the story. So it was okay. Not much to write home about, but yeah, we'll see what happens next episode. Thank you guys for joining me. Be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe to my channel, because I'm here every week to give you shoulders and conversation. So I'll see you guys next time. Thanks. Bye.